You will never be defeated by this unless you let it inside. Find out what we're talking about coming up next. I heard a quote a couple months ago that I wanted to share with you, and I can't for the life of me remember who to attribute it to, but it was powerful and important enough that I wanted to go ahead and share with you. And it goes like this: you will never be defeated by someone else's voice. You will only ever be defeated by your own. And the only power other people's voices have in our life is the power that we give other people's voices. So if someone says you're dumb, you're a loser, you can't do it, and on and on and on, and all the things that people say that tend to bring us down or attempt to bring us down, those words by themselves have no power. They're just sounds moving through the air. Now, yes, they probably have intent that is not good, but they're literally just vibrations of sound uttered by someone else. And they have no power unless we take them in, unless we give them space to occupy in our thoughts, in our heads, in our psyche. Now, the good news is the reverse could be true, right? Sometimes people say positive things about us. What's interesting is that we're less likely to give the positive things people say about us kind of permanent real estate in our heads than we are to give real estate to the negative things that people say about us. And once we take those in, once we take those negative things in, that becomes our own voice over time. So people can say whatever they want, and it doesn't really have any effect on you until you kind of open yourself up to it, take it in, agree with it, and allow that to become your own voice. Now, that is part of the challenge for many of us. So the hard part for some of us is that we don't even have to worry about what other people are saying about us because we're so dang hard on ourselves already. And I've been in that boat. And I can tell you where it comes from. And we've talked about this in other videos, but the voice that we have inside our head, the kind of dialogue that we use to describe ourselves to ourselves, comes from a long history of internalizing other people's voices in our lives. Unfortunately for some of us, kind of in our early childhood, we didn't have good, positive, healthy, productive, constructive voices to internalize and make our own as we got older. Too many of us grow up hearing things like dumb, stupid, you can't do it, whatever. And when you hear that enough times as you grow up, all of a sudden, it becomes your own voice without realizing that started externally and began to occupy space in ourselves, in our own heads, in our own thoughts, so much so that it became our own internal voice. It was never true necessarily, but because we heard it enough over time, it became our way of talking to ourselves. Now, let me ask you this. If you're one of those unfortunate folks that has a pretty strong negative internal voice, what good has come from tearing yourself down? What kind of great things have happened in life by being overly negative with yourself? Now, it doesn't mean you're not accomplishing things, that you're not, a good, productive part of society, that you're not a good dad or a mom or brother, sister, son, daughter. But what really good has come out of tearing yourself down? How has that shaped the view you have of yourself when you look in the mirror, where has that voice taken you from an emotional perspective? We speak our view of reality into existence by the way that we talk to ourselves. And if we're in that really negative, hard charging, challenging space with respect to our internal dialogue, it's tough, right? That sets our view of reality. And so when we look in the mirror, because we have that long history of being kind of unhealthy to ourselves, of being negative with ourselves, that's the reality that we see. Now, the good news, and this is really, really good news, is that because we speak our view of reality into existence, we can speak a different view into existence. We can change our view of reality by beginning to shift the way we talk about ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves. So how do we start to do that? How do we start to shift our view of reality? Number one is we've got to start cultivating awareness. When we're calling ourselves something that's not healthy or productive, whether that's a loser or dumb or any of the other myriad negative things that we say to ourselves, we have to call it out. Become aware. Become aware. Cultivate it. Try to catch yourself in those negative self-talk moments. And then challenge them. Challenge those negative thoughts. Say, hey, hold on a minute. I have accomplished a fair amount in my life. I have done good things. I have a job, or I have a car, whatever it is for yourself. Find those things that challenge the credibility, that challenge the reality of the negative thing that you're saying to yourself. And I can guarantee you, even if it's small, all of us have something with which we can challenge those negative thoughts. And then it's about reframing them, right? So catch it, challenge it, reframe it. Change I can't from no, I'm pretty sure that I can, and I will, and I'm going to find a way because I'm smart and I'm capable and I can get this done. And then really begin to, through that process, cultivate positive, affirming self-talk. And it's not easy, particularly if we've had a long history of being hard on ourselves. But start small, stay consistent, stay persistent, because you are worth it. You deserve a better view of yourself because you are valuable and worthwhile and contributing and deserving of good things. And I know that sounds cheesy, it sounds cliche, but it's true. And if you start to shift your self-talk, you can look in the mirror and begin to see that too. So stick with it. So this coming week, I challenge you to challenge yourself, to challenge your internal dialogue in positive, healthy, productive, and constructive ways. Don't give up. You're worth it. If you found today's content helpful, please take a moment and hit that like button. Share it with anyone else who needs to shift the way they think about themselves in the world in a more positive direction. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please, before you go anywhere, take a moment, just a very brief moment, and reach out and touch that subscribe button. And until next time, please be well.